But honestly, I'm kind of bad luck because every time I go on the fire truck and we do lights and sirens and we go to the call, it ends up being canceled and like it wasn't even a big deal or anyways. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and today is going to be a firefighter wife related video. If you aren't a firefighter wife, you can still obviously watch this video, but I know a lot of you who are girlfriends of firefighters or wives of firefighters or you know, all the things, and I just wanted to come on here and help out, maybe answer some of your questions. I know I had so many when my then boyfriend was going and pursuing becoming a firefighter and going to the fire academy and all that. So I know YouTube is where I turned to, and there honestly it wasn't a lot of videos that I had found, so I wanted to make this for you guys. I did ask on my Instagram if you had any questions that were specific to dating a firefighter or being married to one. So if you don't already follow my Instagram, that's a great place to be involved in these Q&As on all topics, because that's kind of where I ask the question and then I answer it on here. So check out my Instagram if you're interested. I just share like lifestyle things going on in my life or work or marriage or all of that. So anyways, let's hop into this video and I will answer some of your questions. So this is work related, so I know every firefighter schedule is different. So this question asked, is he on a 24-hour on 48-hour off schedule with a Kelly day? So basically she's kind of asking what schedule my husband has. So here in San Diego, they go by the Kelly schedule, which is 24 hours on, 24 hours off for a consecutive amount of days in a row. And then you have 4 days off of work at home, not at the fire station. Then you go back to work for a few of those 24-hour shifts. And then you have 6 days off at home where you're not at the fire station. So that's kind of what I do enjoy about being a firefighter wife. Yes, they are gone a lot, but they're also home a lot. So, you know, when you have kids, it can be hard when they're gone for those 24 hours to 48 hours to 72 hours in a row. But you know, that can be hard, but it's also cool that they can be home. So it's not that 9-to-5 job where they're coming home at 5 o'clock every day. But it is nice on those 6 days or 4 days off when they are home for 4 or 6 days at a time. That's also a cool time that you can have if you want to go travel and go on a trip and all that. So to answer your question, he's on a Kelly schedule, and I will actually put up a screenshot here because it probably makes no sense to you at all, but he is the blue days. So there's A, B, and C shift, and he's on the B shift, which is blue. So you can see there are kind of the days that he's on and then when he's off. So I hope that answers your question. The best ways to stay busy while he's on shift. I work full-time, like 8:30 to 4:30 every day, usually Monday through Fridays. Some days I can work from home, but it's usually I'm in office every day of the week. So that is one thing, just staying busy with your work and your job. Also finding a hobby or, you know, hanging out with friends. I would say besides work, I have my dog, so I'm going on walks with him after work, and I'm trying to work out. Maybe I'm going to a workout class, or I'm riding the bike here at home, and then I'm making dinner, and by then I'm going to bed. So I know weekends are different, so I try to kind of take time to myself. Honestly, I'm the type of person that likes my alone time. I'm a homebody, so it doesn't bother me too much. Obviously, I do miss him on those days where he's gone for 3 days in a row. If he picks up an extra shift and he ends up being gone that long, it can definitely be hard sometimes, especially with kids, because I know it's already hard with a dog because I'm at work all day and the dog is outside all day and doesn't have anybody to hang out with. So just things like that where it's gonna be harder when we have kids. But I do like my alone time, and on the weekends, if it's, you know, a weekend where I can just like take care of myself, like do some self-care, run some errands, go to the grocery store, hang out with friends. I try to do like girls' night or a little wine night or something with friends on some of those days, or hang out with my mom, honestly. So just try to stay busy. Like I said, if you're working, hanging out with some friends and using those days for self-care days, because honestly, putting on your self-tanner, doing a face mask, like, you know, washing your hair, all the things that you don't really want to have to do like when a boy is around. Like, go to work, go to the fire station, and let me do like my girly things and put all the things on where I don't want you to touch me because I have a face mask and self-tanner on. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of helps. Okay, how often do you visit your husband at work? I would say lately it has not been often at all because I'm so busy with work now that I am like full-time. So if it's on a weekend and I can go visit him, then I will. I'll take Nashville, our dog, and it's just kind of fun because sometimes I can actually go on a call with them. So that's kind of the cool part. If the crew and the captain on your husband or boyfriend's crew is really nice and like they're chill about things, and if it's a call that you're okay to go on and it's not like a fire or anything, then those are kind of fun. So I've done that before, but honestly I'm kind of bad luck because every time I go on the fire truck and we do lights and sirens and we go to the call, it ends up being canceled and like it wasn't even a big deal or anyways or anything. So that's kind of funny, but I would say not very often just because I'm working a lot. So I know that'll probably change when we have kids though, because then we can, you know, oh, go visit dad at the fire station. It'll be really fun because kids love that stuff. So not too often right now. How are you guys able to travel so much with his schedule / mandatory overtime? So if we do have a trip planned, the way that San Diego usually kind of runs things, if you do get mandatoried, which means you're pretty much forced to come into work, like you just got an email and you have to come into, you have to, you know, be at work tomorrow. A mandatory shift can only happen when they're currently at the station. So let's say he's at the station and he is getting an email that he is gonna have to stay there until tomorrow. That's the only way it would work. If he's at home and we're hanging out or we're traveling, so that can't happen if they're not at work. They're not gonna get mandatoried. So as far as traveling, like I said, my husband has 4 days off in a row and then 6 days off in a row if he's not picking up a shift, which sometimes he will. An overtime shift to pick up is really great money. So sometimes he will, but for instance, if we have a trip planned, you know, that's perfect, especially if it's like a 6-day trip, or if it's a longer trip, then he will take off work. I forgot to mention too, here where he works, if you all of a sudden get like a mandatory shift, but you have plane tickets somewhere or tickets to something, or it's an emergency, you can opt out of that mandatory shift and you won't have to go to it. But obviously it has to be a serious case. You can't just like say, I'm not gonna go to that. Like you have to, like for a mandatory shift. But if you were to say, I have plane tickets, we're leaving tomorrow on a trip, or we have booked something, we're leaving, or there's something like, you know, that you spend a lot of money on, things like that, where you can turn down like mandatories or basically say, I can't do it. So I hope that answers your questions about traveling. Okay, how do you support him through the hard things he sees and handles at work? Honestly, I'm very thankful for my husband because he is and does such a great job at this. Obviously, we talk about a lot of the calls that we went on, that he's been on, like when he comes home from work in the morning or at night, and just saying, you know, the funny things that happened or the hard things that happened. So thankfully, knock on wood, thankfully my husband hasn't had something that is so just brutal that, you know, some firefighters need to work through emotionally and do maybe some form of therapy. Thankfully my husband has not had that experience, and we pray and hope that he doesn't. But when or if he does someday, then I know that I'm here for him and to support him in any way that he needs. I will say what he told me in the beginning is to not say, I understand what you're going through, or things like that, because you really don't understand. You've never seen something that graphic or been on like a medical aid unless your job is also like that. So I would say steer away from those kind of words, saying that you understand what he's going through. I've never said that to him, but he did voice to me in the beginning, like, don't say that to me, it's not gonna help, because obviously I haven't. I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely makes sense. So just asking him how you can help him go through it, I think is great. Being in communication, obviously, in any way in your marriage is going to be great. So seeing how he's feeling, seeing how you can help him, asking him those questions, and maybe the answer is no, you can't really do anything except for just be here for me and be, you know, a loving wife, and that's kind of maybe all he needs at the moment. And just getting help from the fire station. There's a lot of resources from chaplains or from other captains who have been through what maybe your husband has seen, and just, you know, encouraging him to stay in a community where he is supported, especially if it's a station that is not so great at that, and they aren't that supportive, maybe that's a good conversation to have and say, you know, maybe you should switch stations, or maybe like, do you feel like supported at work with the guys that you're with or the people that you're with? I don't know. So I hope that helps. I know it's not the best answer. Have you ever been lonely during the long shifts? What do you do to handle that? I kind of answer that a little bit. Just staying busy. I like my alone time, so I can kind of, you know, do those things, watch those girly shows or trash TV that I like, cut up on the couch after work, and then just go to sleep. I will say, obviously, trying to feel safe in your home when your husband isn't gone is also something that I didn't really think about until we got married and moved in, because you are like home alone and you're a female, and you know, things can like creep into your mind that are, you know, a little bit scary. Just locking your doors. Having a dog is also helpful because you just feel a little less alone, especially a dog like mine who's very big and has a very loud bark. And then we also have cameras as well. It just kind of helps me feel a little more safe at home, just without him, and things like that I think is also important. I know you didn't really ask that, but I kind of answered your other question in the beginning. So yes. How do you cope with the anxiety of him being in danger at any moment? I do want to say, I don't want you guys to like be scared going into this. I definitely had all of those fears. It's definitely very, very normal. But just know a lot of jobs out there also go through a lot of dangers and things like that. This is a little bit of a hard one. I know I had this fear in the beginning as well. Just that anxiety of like, he could be on a fire and, you know, something could happen, or he could, you know, be on a call and somebody has a weapon, and you know, things like that go through your brain. But I want you to know how trained they are. That was something going into it that I was terrified about, and then after he went through the fire academy and then all of the training that he got, it just makes you feel a lot better about his well-being, because they are so well trained, and the people that he's working with are very competent and they know what to do in a crazy situation that could happen, but is also very rare. So keep that in mind. I would also say, don't watch those scary fire movies or fire shows if you feel like you can't handle it, because it's not real life. Like, it's all so fake, and I'm sure your firefighter will tell you. It just is. And honestly, there's obviously dangers with this job. There's dangers with so many jobs out there that men do, but just know that they're very highly trained, and just reassure that. Also, talking with your husband about this and your boyfriend, just letting them know your worry about his safety. Maybe he can really reassure you, like, oh, you know, if it's a scenario of a fire and like, what if a building collapses on you, or like, what if they can't find you in a fire and your partner can't find you, then he can explain like, well, that's very rare because we do this, this, and this, or we have these safety precautions. I think that'll help you with any anxious feeling you might have. I know it's definitely helped me as well. Okay, and then somebody said, what is the best part about this lifestyle? My fiance is wanting to do this. Lifestyle, I guess maybe I'll do it from his point of view and mine. So it's a really fun job. If you're not somebody who wants to sit in an office all day, it's a really cool job. Honestly, if I could do it, I might. Obviously so many women are firefighters, but you know what I'm saying. Like, a job that you get paid to work out, you get paid to make lunch and dinner and breakfast and go play a game with your boys. You like can smoke a cigar, like all these things that you're getting paid for, like at work. You're cleaning the station, like cleaning your house, you're getting paid. You're getting paid to sleep as well. Like there's a lot of perks with this job, especially if you or your husband are not somebody who wants to sit behind a desk all day and a computer and like be in an office all day long like I am and sitting. Like, it's a really awesome job. I mean, they go out and grab coffee and like make lunch and make dinner together and like play games, and like they're getting paid. Obviously there's a ton of calls that they're going on if they're at a busy station especially, but you kind of get the gist. Okay, I'm gonna try to answer this really quick because my camera is gonna die, but then the perk for myself is also kind of what I mentioned. My alone time, I can hang out with like friends or family, have my alone time, and then just being able to, I mean, a firefighter is obviously not the most high paying job, but it's still very, it's still such a great job, like financially, especially if you're a young couple. You know, here in San Diego, it's so expensive to live, so it's not the most high paying thing, but I'm very thankful that he loves his job. It's something that he's not like cooped up in an office all day being depressed, things like that, where he has 6 days off in a row. It's a benefit for me too. If we want to go on a trip, or when we have kids, he can be home a lot, even though he's you know, gone a lot. So those are the perks I would say for me. And then last question, I'm trying to get through this. They said, has the increased chance of cancer or infertility due to his job affected you in your marriage? Honestly, no. I'll talk about fertility and miscarriage in another video actually, but I would say no to that because they have so many good precautions nowadays that they didn't before, especially washing their turnouts anytime they have a fire. They use special soap anytime they have a fire. I would encourage him to go in the sauna like a lot of times, especially right after a fire, to really detox. Switching his shampoo, body wash, lotion, anything he's putting on his skin, please make sure that it's non-toxic and non-carcinogenic, because carcinogens, and not only are they in beauty products, they're also in a lot of men's products. So just being mindful of that, because if you come home from a fire and you're trying to detox and just get everything off of you, but then you're washing yourself with soap that has carcinogens in it and cancer-causing ingredients, you are contradicting yourself, and it's not good. So doing that, eating right, eating healthy. A lot of firefighters really do try to eat healthy at the station, and you know, some of them are on like a keto diet, and then they all have to eat like a little bit cleaner. So just encouraging that, and obviously with you as a woman, just being aware of those things that you're putting on your body. I try to do all non-toxic makeup, skincare, nutrition, hair care, all of that. So what else? And then the cancer, I know it is very sad. Like some professions out there, they are surrounded by things that can cause cancer potentially, but like I said, there's a lot of really great protocols that are done nowadays that weren't before. I believe they're seeing a lot less cancer in firefighters now, but that's always a risk. With every job there comes a risk, whether it is something like cancer or not. So just keep aware of that and do the things that you can do and can control, like I said, with the products that you use, what you're eating, and what you're doing, like the sauna and detoxing your body, maybe like taking a bath with like detox Epsom salts. I know that's a great one. My husband doesn't love doing baths, so he does the sauna. So that is it for today's little firefighter wife Q&A. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below. Message me on Instagram, or get a hold of me that way somehow if I did not answer all of your questions. Maybe if you want a part 2 to this, please let me know. I know about the Fire Academy and other things and how that works, so I can definitely do another video dedicated to that as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe down below, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.